आज हम स्पेक्ट्रम के विषय में जेपीसी जो जारी है उसका प्रोग्रेस और उसका दिक्कत जितने भी है उसके ऊपर बात करने के लिए कोशिश कर रहे हैं. All of you are aware that the former finance minister, former external affairs minister, and a BJP member in the JPC, Shri Yashwant Sinha, has written a letter to the Prime Minister, and also he had written a letter to the Speaker, expressing very important points. Also stating that the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister, the then Finance Minister, who happens to be the Finance Minister presently too, should appear before the JPC. And this letter, as Shri Yashwant Sinha himself has quite frequently explained in the last few days to the media, he had to do this because the way in which the JPC is being stalled by the Congress, nothing seems to be happening in it. And a principal opposition party, the BJP, which struggled hard to get the JPC formed, is seeing actually how, due to the obstructionist attitude of the Congress party, it is making no progress at all. And above all, on Shri Yashwant Sinha's letter, we have senior Congress ministers coming out to say it is a political stunt, it is preposterous, it is above and over and above the norms, it doesn't comply with the norms of the committee, and so on. It's unfortunate that not only is the Congress party obstructionist attitude is not allowing the JPC to progress, but they also seem to be alleging a member of the JPC who has been a former minister. And he knows the norms. He himself is heading the Finance Committee, as all of you all are aware. Parliamentary committees have to work on consensus. And JPC, particularly when formed to look into matters, have had even Dr. Manmohan Singh appear once in 1992. It's not new. To call ministers to appear before the committee is nothing new. And why is the Congress and Congress's ministers, why are they running away from committees? If they have nothing to hide, let them appear and clear all the doubts. Instead of throwing allegations against senior members, against ministers who themselves are presently, former ministers who are themselves presently heading committees, and trying to remind them about rules, regulations, and norms of Parliament? Who is playing the political stunt? Actually, the media, may I remind, had come through with a lot of statements which Mr. P.C. Chacko had made. And one of the latest statements was that if Mr. Raja were to appear and if he were to be called, he will be the last. What does that indicate? What kind of a statement is that? I am not getting into the privileges of the parliamentary committees working or functioning, but these are interests of public interest matters. These are matters of public interest on which, as a principal opposition party, we are duty bound to raise questions for the sake of the public who want to know what is happening in JPC. The chairman also mentioned, and I again go back to saying that it was reported in the media, that if the DMK agrees not to have Mr. Raja appear, something to this effect, there was a statement, it was reported in various different media houses. I'll even read it to you if you want. If the DMK agrees not to have Mr. Raja appear, I mean, what is that statement? Is that not political stunt? You're trying to manage it politically? What does this imply? And you, in turn, allege a senior member of the JPC, a former minister, who has been repeatedly writing to you to say, please hold sittings of the JPC. Please let the investigation continue. When are you going to have? The last 2 months, it's public knowledge that the JPC has not even met. And the last 2 months are very significant because Mr. Raja, who is the prime accused in this case, has been repeatedly asking, I want to appear in front of the commission, JPC, please allow me. And when the prime accused, who happens to be a member of parliament, and on the matters which are being investigated by the JPC, is repeatedly requesting that I want to appear, and you don't allow it. And you also have, as reported in the press, the Attorney General, Sri Vahanavati, also saying, as reported again in the press, that he had seen the file, he had cleared it, but later probably an interpolation was made by Mr. Raja. If that statement was indeed made as is reported in the press, we from the Bharatiya Janata Party want to know if there is a clarification which has got to be obtained from Mr. Raja. Did he make that interpolation? Doesn't that question necessarily fall out of what the Attorney General has spoken to the JPC? Therefore, the Congress is trying to probably do a political stunt, if I may use and borrow Mr. Chako's words. And they want to allege that one of the members, which is Sri Yashwant Sinha, is by writing to the Prime Minister doing a political stunt. We are astonished. We from the BJP were accused of having lost one entire session of the parliament, winter session 2011, because we went on demanding a JPC. We were charged saying you've lost because of your demand, one whole session of the parliament was lost. Now when the JPC had to be given because of public pressure and because of the size of the scandal, you don't allow it to function. And when there are repeated requests from the members of the parliament who are there, it's a multi-party JPC, it's not a single party JPC. And when the members are themselves demanding, you allege them as being obstructionist, you're charging them being political, making a political stunt, and that it is preposterous, you're reminding him of the norms. The BJP demands that keeping up his words, which he gave in Burari plenary of the AICC, the Prime Minister at that time probably offered to appear before the PAC, which probably doesn't have the powers to call him to present his case before it. But the JPC has the powers. And the JPC is established to look into specific instances of corruption, and the JPC's objective is to establish accountability of the executive, accountability of particularly the political executive to the parliament. And that's a sacred accountability. And therefore, the BJP today demands that the JPC be allowed to fulfill the objective for which it was established. It has to find the truth in this matter. The Prime Minister, keeping his words, his own words which he had given at that time in Burari, should now appear before the JPC, which has the powers to call him. As a finance minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh in 1992 had appeared before a JPC. It's not new to him. Yashwant Sinha ji had appeared before a JPC. It's not new to this country's parliamentary democracy to have ministers appear before JPC. So the BJP demands, and again, A. Raja, the prime accused in 2G, has been repeatedly stating that the Prime Minister was privy to the decision taken. That the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister were privy to the decisions taken. And therefore, the BJP demands, as we have always been doing, that the Prime Minister and the then Finance Minister, who is currently the Finance Minister too, appear before the JPC. And the Congress give up its obstructionist methods and allow a joint parliamentary committee to carry on with its duties. The other issue we'd like to take up is about the Lokayukta in Gujarat. There are reports already in the media, and definitely enthusiastic members of the Congress, spokespersons, ministers, and everybody are ready to talk about Gujarat because it's a matter of keen interest for the Congress party. We like to put a few facts before you about the Lokayukta, the bill which is getting passed in Gujarat. It is the Government of India's orders to have Nagarpalika, Mahanagarpalika and the Panchayats to be included in the Lokayukta bill. States are required to include Nagarpalika, Mahanagarpalika and Panchayats in the ambit of the Lokayukta. That is what the bill has done in Gujarat. That is one of the things the bill has done in Gujarat. That's on the suggestion of Government of India. But it's a very important suggestion because it is tied to release of funds. Second, the bill also has made it a multi-member Lokayukta. Even that is a suggestion by Government of India. And what the Gujarat bill has done is to say it will be a multi-member committee, but the multi-members, meaning the several of the members, will be appointed by the Supreme Court. Is there a problem with that? I thought it was very ideal to have the Supreme Court appoint so that you're not going to have any state governments, raising questions or anybody else in the opposition raising questions saying, oh, the government nominees. No. The bill has provided for these several members to be appointed by the Supreme Court. I'll just go back a bit to say why it is important for us. 2 years ago, in order to do the very same things, multi-member Lokayukta, and also to bring in the Nagarpalikas and Mahanagarpalikas and Panchayats into the ambit of Lokayukta, an ordinance was passed by the Gujarat government. And normally, all of us know, ordinances when passed by the government is approved by routine by the governors. But Gujarat is an exception in many ways. And the governor there in Gujarat returned this ordinance, which is normally not done. The importance of bringing the Nagarpalikas, Panchayats and Mahanagarpalikas into the Lokayat is very clearly laid out because the Government of India has made it very clear that funds and grants will not be given to these bodies unless they are made part of the Lokayukta. 700 crores of Gujarat's money is pending and kept locked up in central government because they are not part of the Lokayukta. This bill has made it a part of Lokayukta. At least after this, we hope to get the funds released. This new law, you know that this whole thing came up, appointment of the Lokayukta, Justice Mehta's appointment was questioned, came to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court had said, now that the appointment has been made, let him continue. Let me underline here that this new bill passed will not disturb the appointment of Justice Mehta. He will definitely be continuing there. One other important point here. It was made a multi-member Lokayukta. The Lokayukta had the Nagarpalikas, Mahanagarpalikas and Panchayats brought into it. And importantly, the CM is also brought into the Lokayukta. Does anyone suspect anything more on this? The CM is in the Lokayukta. Again, let's underline, the Lokayukta bill this time has not taken away any powers of the governor.